For the Baldur's Gate 3 players that are new to Dungeons & Dragons or CRPGs in general, the combat system and action economy can be difficult to adjust to. Don't worry, we've got the basics broken down here for you so you'll be ready the next time a goblin thinks it can pick a fight with the hero.
And suffer its sting.
In the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition rule set that Baldur's Gate 3 emulates, each full round of combat encompasses 6 real-time seconds, a round being one full rotation through the initiative order. Keep that thought in mind when in combat scenarios, as it can help you understand why some of your actions and abilities are limited in the way that they are. The first thing to understand when approaching combat in Baldur's Gate 3 is what initiative, actions, bonus actions, reactions, and movement correspond to on your character's turns. When combat is initiated, each character and enemy that is involved in the combat will roll initiative. This is a 20-sided die roll with the dexterity bonus applied as a modifier, where the highest resulting roll will go first in the round. There are occasions when you'll find your characters have the ability to act simultaneously. This can make for interesting strategic combinations, especially when playing multiplayer. When it's your character's turn, you'll be able to perform an action, bonus action, and movement completed in any order you wish. The big thing you'll do on a character's turn. An action generally encompasses main hand attacks, the majority of spell casting, and other abilities like dash, disengage, throw, and hide. Actions are denoted on your hotbar with a green circle, and you can also see in the text of each ability what slot it takes during combat. Casting spells is one of the more complex actions. Understand that you have a limited amount of spell slots per adventuring day to cast your more powerful leveled spells, whereas cantrips do not require a spell slot as a resource. Rely on your cantrips more heavily if you find yourself running out of spell slots too often. Some classes have the ability to regain a few spell slots between long rests, and the Warlock regains all of their spell slots on a short rest. Bonus actions are smaller or quicker abilities that your character can accomplish on a turn. There are spells like Healing Word or Shield of Faith, and class abilities like Barbarian's Rage that fit this slot. Baldur's Gate 3 also includes some movement and interactions in the bonus action slot. You can jump, shove, and dip a weapon into an oil, poison, or surface. Bonus actions are denoted by an orange triangle and can be used in any order with your action and movement. Keep in mind, some class abilities will give you more bonus action options, and you generally cannot cast 2 leveled spells on one turn. Reactions are abilities that take place when it is not specifically your character's turn. Opportunity attacks, spells like Hellish Rebuke and Shield, and class abilities like the Rogue's Uncanny Dodge or Fighter's Riposte all fit this slot. You'll only get one of these per full round of combat, and there are some options in the settings that may help give you more control over when these reactions happen and how you are prompted. Open your character's spellbook, go to the Reactions tab, and toggle which reactions you want to have happen automatically, have an in-game action prompt for, or disable completely. Each enemy also only has one reaction, so if you notice an enemy use their reaction, you can now walk past them without invoking an opportunity attack. If you're next to a character and you're not threatened, you'll know that you can safely reposition yourself without using disengage. There is also a red sword indicator that appears on the ground when mapping out your movement that indicates when you'll take an opportunity attack. Likely the simplest of your options to understand, your character has a set amount of base movement defined by their race and class, and this can be used to position yourself during your turn. Other actions like jump do require movement to utilize, and the dash action allows you to move again at the cost of your action. Movement can be split between other actions, so you can move, perform an action, move again, or use it in any other order. Now that we have the basics down, here are some tips to take to your next combat. Equip or swap weapons outside of combat, otherwise it will take an action during your turn. This includes recovering and equipping a thrown weapon. Use shove and your environment to your advantage in combat. It's only a bonus action. If you and an enemy are on a high ledge or near a bottomless abyss, you can shove them off the ledge or into the abyss. This is a contested strength check, so it may not always be successful. Be warned, any loot will fall with the enemy. It's pretty easy to accidentally end your turn, so be wary of your button presses. You can undo an end turn if you go to the character select menu and select the character you just accidentally skipped. However, if an enemy acts after you, you won't be able to do this. If a weapon is light, you can equip 2 of them and dual wield. This gives you a bonus action to attack a second time with the offhand weapon. It will automatically use your bonus action to make this second attack, but you can turn this off in the weapons options in the equipment menu. This attack won't have any stat bonuses applied to the damage unless you've taken the dual wielding feat. Play conservatively. The game's resource system may be very different from ones you're used to. Many of your best spells and abilities are limited to a few uses between long rests, and the limited amounts of free HP recovery can stifle your progress if you're long resting too often. Use cantrips often for spellcasters while also trying to conserve your HP where possible. Some classes regain more than others on short rests, and some also have abilities to give them more spells. Read your abilities and be aware of what you can afford to use. Throw your potions. When you use the throw action, select a potion, and a splash area will appear on the ground, showing you the effective radius of that potion. So instead of just consuming a potion yourself, you can throw the potion at your allies and it will affect all in that splash zone. Healing, speed, and even speak with animals all work in this fashion. Baldur's Gate 3 combat can be complex and confusing. Take your time, read your spells and abilities, and no one will judge you for reloading that last save. Probably. For all things Baldur's Gate 3, head to our wiki, and keep that spell concentration here on IGN.